Teresa. I hope you're doing well today. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to make a very versatile meatball. You can use this recipe for just about anything you want to make with meatballs. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with them yet, but I definitely want to make the meatballs. You can freeze them. But anyway, I got the recipe from a Gordon Ramsay video. So I might add a couple more things, but let's get started. The first thing we're going to do, I got ground chuck this time. I don't usually buy ground chuck, but I bought it this time because it was a little cheaper. And I'm gonna, this is 1.6 pounds. You can use a leaner meat if you want. I usually do. I'm gonna dump it in this bowl. And then rinse my hands, and then we're gonna go to the stove, and I'll show you my pan. I have right here just about 1/4 of an onion, and it's chopped very, very fine. And we're gonna cook this a little bit before we add it to our meatballs. So it mixes a lot better, and it makes the meatball moister if you chop them up really, really fine. And then we're gonna add garlic. And this one was pre-chopped, so it's not quite as fine, but I'm gonna add all of this. And I'll have to make some more. I'm just gonna cook these for a few minutes, get a little color on them. And while that's happening, we're going to, let me see if you can see, take our, actually we're gonna do this first. So you can see this, we're gonna take this bowl, and we're gonna add some, this is just garlic and herb breadcrumbs. Let me turn my fire down a little bit. And I'm gonna add, for that much meat, I'm gonna add about 1/2 cup probably. And while your onions are cooked, you wanna make a little well in here. And you can pour milk, or I have some half and half I need to use, so I'm gonna add just a little bit of half and half. And we want to moisten the breadcrumbs, and that keeps you from having to add an egg to your meatball, your meat mixture. So you just mix these, you want it to soak up, and we're going to let that sit while we cook the onions. I don't know, I might have to add a little bit more. I don't know if that's enough for my mixture. I am going to add just a little bit more liquid. Oh, the onions already smell good. You want them to be pretty soaked. That looks good. Okay, so you can see they're pretty wet. I'm gonna let that sit while we cook the onions. And this won't take long with the onions and because I've chopped them up so fine. And now I'm gonna move you over, and we're gonna season the meat. Okay, I made a well in the center of this meat, and you might want to let this cool off just a little bit, but I'm just gonna put that in the middle. And you can put as much onion and garlic as you want. There's no exact amount. So put that in the center, and I'm gonna make sure you get them all out, especially that garlic, because it's such a pain to chop it, to me. I used all my extra garlic. And I added a little bit more milk to this because it was not wet enough. See, it's a little bit mushier now. So we're gonna add that also. Okay. And we're gonna add some salt. You know, that's according to your taste, the salt. And some black pepper. And one thing he did not add that I'm going to add is I always have to add this to my meatballs. Just a dash. I know it's pretty strong. You don't have to add this, but I'm just going to add just a drizzle or two. To me, it just gives such a good flavor. Now what I'm going to do is mix this with my hands. And, well, I'll just show you. And you want them to be really mixed. Break up the breadcrumbs and the milk mixture. And see, it's already getting pretty sticky. Okay, so let me go wash my hands and then we're gonna start rolling these up. I got by the sinks in case I have to wet my hands. It might be kind of sticky. And you don't want them too small because they'll dry out, and you don't want them too big. You want them about a little bit bigger than golf ball shapes. And just press them together. You know, like this. And I used a red onion. I don't know if I said that. That looks about right. Now, if I could just get them the same size. That's where I always run into trouble. I don't know if I actually want them this big. Yeah, that looks good, I guess. Yeah, I usually use a leaner meat, but I bought this. It was cheaper, and I thought for meatballs it might be a better decision to... I've made meatballs with the lean ground meat before, and they're dry, but they're still tasty. And I wanted to try this one this time. I'm not sure how many we'll get out of this. You can make these in advance, freeze them, and use them for whatever dish you want. I want something with meatballs and pasta, but I don't want spaghetti. If I was gonna make spaghetti, I would have put a little Parmesan cheese in the meatballs. But that's about, just roll them up. Try to get them about the same. I think I'm doing pretty good. They're staying together really well. We'll see when they cook though. I like the idea of cooking the onions and the garlic before you add them to the meat. I've never done that way before. And I have a pot of water on the stove so I can just boil some pasta. I'm thinking I want some egg noodles because I don't want beef stroganoff and I don't want Swedish meatballs. It's gonna be just something different, but simple. I guess you don't have to watch me roll every meatball, but my hand's dirty so I can't turn the camera off. Sorry. I think it's gonna be up a little bit extra. I should weigh them and see how close I came, but I don't want to dirty my scale. And you just take the rest and just, you know, just divide it, add it to some you think you might need a little bit extra on because you don't want to waste it. And it's really holding together really well. I've never done the without the egg before. Okay. Now we're gonna try to cook these babies. Hey guys, I don't usually show you this side of my kitchen before I clean all this stuff up, but I don't think you can see it that well, but I had to show you these. Well, I think this might be 2. These garlic cloves are just huge. I love it. I can't believe it. I've been having bad luck with garlic where you get one clove and then you end up, and it's like 3 different cloves stuck together. So, let's see if it looks good on the inside. Yeah, and I always cut off that little brown thing. I hate that thing. These are really hard to mash. Man. Yeah, this one's 2, but it's still pretty big. This is a... Yeah, cut off the brown thing. And make sure all the... sometimes you have to double check that skin. Anyway, I just wanted to show you this garlic. And I minced an onion because I'm going to make some kind of meatball gravy. But I made these really, really fine. I'm trying to practice my knife skills. So, anyway, I'm just practicing. So, you can cut them any size you want. And I also have some onions I was thinking about dehydrating. I don't know if you guys would like to see that video. Sometimes I get confused on which videos I should do. I get a lot of ideas, and then sometimes, lately, the doctor's been changing my medicine, so I don't know if they're agreeing with me. I haven't been feeling the same lately, but I'm trying to get better. And I know you wanted to see the kombucha. I had to start a new batch, and I didn't get to film it, but believe me, I drink so much of it, you'll be able to see a video. Anyway, let me chop this garlic. I'm not going to use all this. I'm probably going to use 2 big ones, though. And you know, I like to keep it in my little jar because I use it often. And I'll be back. Some olive oil in my pan. I'm heating it up. And over here I am, can you see, I'm boiling some pasta. Some of the egg noodles I told you about. They're almost done. So I'm going to let this heat up. Start putting the meatballs in. And then I'll be meatballs in. I don't have it on high. I just have it on medium high. I've got to pick this pot because I think they're all going to fit in here. We may have to drain some of the fat, but I'm going to have to add olive oil for the onion and stuff. I'm trying to not get them as close together. Looks like my pot or my stove's uneven. Perfect size. Let these get a little color. When it's time to turn them, I'll be back and I'll tell you how long. Turn them down a little bit. I had to actually loosen them with this spatula because they're sticking just a little bit. Get them nice and brown on the outside. They don't have to be cooked all the way through because I'm going to cook them in a sauce. Ow, I forgot that side of the stove was hot. Just flipping them over. Again, I turned my fire to like medium low. I try not to tear them up, but I get impatient. And I am going to have to take some of these out and drain some of this fat. But that's okay. God, I did it again. I'm just not with it today. So we're just going to brown on each side. And then we're going to take them out, and then we'll drain the fat. I'm going to put them on one of these pans right here. I also have to make a cookie recipe today. It's my new favorite cookie. I'm going to try to video it. So they look good. They smell good. My dog's coming in here, so it must smell good. Peanut, what are you doing? You can't have a meatball. I'll be back. Okay, that's about as cooked as I want them right now. So I'm going to turn off my heat. I'm going to take them out, and I'll put a paper towel right here. And I was a little bit rough with them. Oh, just caught me. This is a messy recipe. That's why I don't like this kind of meat. And I'm going to save the brown parts at the bottom. I'm going to try to save those. And I chopped up a whole yellow onion. You know how I like to mix the onions, red and yellow. Oh, I really messed up the meatballs, but it'll be okay. That popped the crap out of my hand. I wasn't expecting that. See the grease on my hand? I gotta run some cold water. But I'll be okay. So let me drain this and then we'll go to the next step. Okay, that's all the brown stuff that's left. So we're gonna keep that. It's not burned, it smells really good. Now I'm gonna add just a tiny bit of olive oil. Not much. And I'm gonna put my onion in here, the whole onion. You could add, you know, bell peppers, celery, whatever you want. I'm just gonna add onions and garlic today. I'm gonna keep it pretty simple today. See how fine I chopped the onions? Add a little garlic. You don't have to measure the garlic, just whatever you like. Save some for later. Those were some big cloves I showed y'all. All right. Okay. So we're gonna let these sweat a little bit. Actually, I'm gonna keep my spatula so I can scrape the bottom. I probably could have done a little bit more onion. And I am going to add just a little bit more olive oil. It's not enough fat in here. Oh, I'm going to salt the onions a little bit. You want to season every layer. But you don't want to put too much salt if you're using the beef stock I'm using. Okay, let me cook these down a little bit and then we'll move forward with these. Add just a little bit of beef stock. And I prefer beef stock over beef broth. I'm going to let this cook a little while and reduce a little bit. And also it would help get the rest of the bits off the bottom once it heats up. See, it just comes right off. Sorry about the noise. And the beef stock is salted. Sometimes I buy unsalted, sometimes I can't find it. So it's salted. So I'm just gonna let this cook down for a little while. And then we're gonna add, I'm not sure what, but I'll show you when I decide. See, I let it reduce quite a bit. So what I'm gonna do now is add a little bit more, because when you reduce it, the flavor gets concentrated. I'm gonna add a little bit more. And I'm gonna add a thickener. I just haven't decided what I'm going to add yet. But I do want to add one of these. It's the onion one. I'm just gonna add more beef and onion flavor. Because we're gonna put pasta in here. And I forgot to tell you that I cooked the pasta a couple minutes less than the packet called for, because it's gonna cook in the sauce for just a little while. And I hope I'm not making this too salty. But we will see. Throw this over here. I think I need a little bit more. Stop. That was almost a whole container, by the way. It was almost full. And I have more if we need it. So now what we're going to do is add the meatballs and let these cook a little while. I'm gonna let them cook a little bit on low because they're not cooked all the way through. Almost, but not quite. I know what I want in my mind. I just have to think of the ingredients to make it happen. But you know I'll make up stuff as I go along, so. Okay, so we're just gonna let this cook for a little while. And then we'll find out what the next ingredient will be. Still cooking, I have it on low. I added just a pinch more beef stock and I added black pepper. And I was thinking, you know, I probably should add some more, like just a little garlic powder, just to give it a little bit more flavor. And what else should I put? Let's see. I don't want it too, you know, I don't want it tomatoey, and I'm really not sure. So we're just have to figure this out as we go. I think I'm gonna put a couple of crushed red pepper flakes though, for just a little spice. I was gonna put a jalapeno in here, sorry. But I changed my mind because I didn't want to make it too hot. Now, a lot of people will just, you know, and this, I might do this, take a little cornstarch, a little stock, and thicken it up like that. And I think I might do that, but I want a little creaminess to it, so I don't know if I'm going to add a little sour cream, which would be kind of like beef stroganoff, but I would like to use cream of mushroom soup, but my family does not allow me to use cream of mushroom soup. But I have this one. This one might mess it up too. Fiesta nacho cheese. I have a cream of chicken. So I'm kind of limited on my soups. So I think I'm going to make a little cornstarch mixture. And then we're going to thicken it up, and then we'll go from there. I have just a little bit of stock. And I don't know if you're supposed to heat it up or not. I'm just going to add about a tablespoon and a half of cornstarch. And then I'm going to give it a little whisk. And just whisk this together. Because I want the thickness, I want it to stick to my noodles. So let's see what happens with this. That looks mixed. I'm gonna pour it in kind of slowly. And I picked the wrong vessel. That's gonna be beautiful. And you know, I've thought about adding carrots too. That would be delicious. I think I'm gonna add it all. You could probably, at the end, if you wanted a little creaminess, you could add heavy cream. You could add sour cream, half and half. I think I'm gonna add just a little bit of sour cream just to give it a little tang. You know, I've never tried to add buttermilk. I wonder what that would be like. Might curdle. That looks wonderful. See, that's just what I'm looking for. Now I just need a little bit of creamy factor. So let me get the sour cream, and we'll use the full fat sour cream. This is the only kind I use. So I'm just gonna add. You could probably put a little dry sherry in here too. I think that would make it a little more stroganoff-y. Let's put 3 big heaping tablespoons because, you know, sour cream gives it a really good, nice tang. And I've never done this before, so it's going to be interesting. Okay, we'll dissolve this. Hopefully it's going to be good. I always keep sour cream in the freezer because I like to make that Chewy's dip that I did a video on. Oh, that looks pretty good. My heat's low because I want to do this slowly, just to make sure nothing goes wrong. It's kind of sticking to my meatballs here. It's not quite melted, but it's getting there. It smells really good. Hope I didn't put too much sour cream. It won't be for me, but you know, you're never gonna learn how to put flavors together unless you try it. So I like to try different things. I don't know if I like the look of it, but I think you're supposed to turn the heat off. I guess that's thick enough. Now what I'm gonna do is add some pasta and see if it's, because I don't want it too thick. And I'll just boil like half of a package of egg noodles. Because I wanted it a little bit soupy. I don't know, I've been wanting to eat really simple things lately. Just what I've been craving. I should have rinsed these a little bit, but I didn't. Well, I did, but they already dried up. And if you wanted to keep this carb friendly, you could just skip the pasta. You know what I'm gonna add though? A little dash of hot sauce. Yes, that would be good in there, I think. Let me get it. That's gonna be perfect. Oh, and you know, we always have to add a little green onion at the end. Okay, that'll give it a little flavor. You could also add a little bit more Worcestershire. I don't know that's how I say it. I don't know how to say it. Break up the noodles. Okay, let me put the sour cream up and get the green onions. You could even put a little bit of, what if you could put a little cheese on here? You could keep it really simple and not use any stock and put just pasta water and Parmesan cheese with the meatballs and a vegetable, and you have a pasta dish that way too. Oh, I dropped one. So Ella's about to be home, so we'll do a true taste test and I'll tell you exactly what I think. It's time to taste this delicious. I already tasted it.
Me too, it's really good.
Delicious. The sour cream just adds a little tiny. I have been craving this flavor, but I wasn't sure how to put it together for like a week because I didn't want stroganoff. I didn't want beef stew. I wanted something, I guess, more along the lines of a little bit of soup, but with pasta. Oh. You could also just cook the pasta in the beef stock while you're cooking this, and it could be a one-pot meal. Now let's try this famous meatball. I haven't tried this yet because it's very hot. Mmm. It is juicy, nice and tender, because I did exactly what Gordon Ramsay told me to do, and he's one of my idols. But this meatball is absolutely delicious. You can use it for anything. I hope you give this a try. The meatball recipe you saw, it's really easy, but it's so good. You could just eat the meatballs if you don't want to eat carbs. So good. So, I've been talking a lot. Thank you for watching. Please do subscribe. And next I have a cookie video coming up. And I hope you have a good day. Thanks for watching. Bye.